afternoon. It is Kimberly McAlinden. I know it's not my normal day. It is Friday today, and I want to welcome you to my knitting podcast. My name is Kimberly McAlinden if you're new here, and it is wonderful to be able to share all of my knits and all of my news in the knitting world that's going on. So I am very excited to be here. I was actually up north. We had a very bad storm. Hurricane Ida came through, and we actually did have damage to our home. So we were doing all of that yesterday. So that's why I wasn't here. So everything is fine. So we're very lucky that it wasn't worse. And I'm so, hey Natalie, how are you? I'm a little late. I said 11:45, but I'm a little late because I had to set everything up. But oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we were eating dinner, and all of a sudden, it just started like raining on my husband. We looked up, the whole ceiling was pouring in. It was absolutely awful. So lots of things to get through. Aloha, Heather, how are you? You're catching me for the first time, Susie. Yay! Yeah, that rain, it was nuts. But you know, we're all together and healthy, and you know, things can be replaced. So let's talk about I launched my website. knitarainbow.com is now live. It is set up so that, thank you very much. Oh, I'm glad. Hi, Valerie. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for my safety. Yeah, we're all safe and time. Your first time catching me live. Well, this might be a good thing. Hi, Iowa. Yes, we're all great. My husband, Scotland, so glad. Oh my gosh, Laura, welcome from Scotland. My father-in-law was from Scotland. He was from Airdrie. So here we go. Thank you very much. My positivity is contagious. Thank you. So anyway, my website. I'm very, very excited. I waited for a long time to get knitarainbow.com. So I could get CO, I could get knitarainbow.net, which I actually did end up purchasing those domain names so nobody else uses them. But I was waiting for knitarainbow.com, and I finally was able to purchase it back in February, and I just didn't have my stuff together. So so if you wanted to take a look over there, I'm really, really, really excited. So you can, you know, see everything that I'm up to there as well. Okay, let's talk about a couple questions that had come up from my last podcast. The first one is, this behind me is a shawl that my grandmother knit. And I had a lot of people ask, it's not knit, it's crochet. And I had a lot of people ask if there was a pattern for it. And there is not. It looks like a simple thing. I could probably write it. I know that my grandmother probably made it in the 70s. It actually, I thought it was like a wool acrylic blend. I think it's just acrylic, but it's so pretty. So so this is it. It's a shawl, and it's hanging up. It just hangs in here. So this is my grandmother, my mother's mother. Her name was Evelyn Holcomb, and she was a stitcher. She knit and crocheted, and I must take it after that. I must have skipped a generation because my mother didn't do any of that. And so this wasn't one of them, but my grandmother crocheted these like lap blanket. I think I told this story. Well, you're going to hear it again, because I am a firm believer that whether your loved ones are on this side or the other side, whether they're with you or not, if you continue to talk about them and tell their stories, then they live on forever, right? So, so my grandmother, Evelyn Holcomb, she was a she was a crocheter. Yeah, I agree, Heather. The acrylic, that feels like really, really scratchy. That's not something that I would want next to my skin. Now I'm wearing, well, I'll tell you what I'm wearing in a minute. So my mom used to keep them, the things that she made, like little shawls and things. She used to keep them in the room right off of the kitchen. And when we would come home from school, we would walk into the kitchen. And I was very lucky. I had a mom that was home, and she would have after school snacks and stuff. I had an amazing upbringing. And so one day I had a bad day, and my mom said, I think you need a hug from Baba. We used to call my grandmother Baba. And she would go into this thing and take it out and wrap us in it. That always really stuck with me, because no matter what you're doing, when you're knitting and crocheting and crafting and cooking, you do put a little bit of your energy in that, right? I mean, and energy never dies, right? So I just think that if you need a hug from someone, it's no different whether you take something that they made, or a shirt that they used to wear, or or a blanket that they used to use. I mean, their energy is in there. So we have lots of things to make us feel good and to remember our loved ones, even if they're not here. So, what am I wearing? All right, so I talked about the website, which I want to say chuffed. I'm so chuffed about it. I'm very excited. And I did it, I got it done. A lot of times I'll have ideas and I'll have great starts, but the middle and the ends kind of drift off a little bit, and then I kind of don't get back to things. So that's why I like to set deadlines for myself. I like to set deadlines with my knitting, not even just for the whole project, but for the day, right? So if I'm test knitting something and I have left myself 2 weeks to do that, I absolutely set up. That's beautiful, Suzanne. Wrap yourself in a hug. Set yourself up so that you will have your deadlines done, and then, by the end of it, you're there. Okay. So, oh man, I'm going to be all over the place today. And speaking of test knits, the Isabel Kramer's Cardoon sweater was just released today. Oh, thank you, Valerie. Valerie says she signed up for Knit and Escape for the knitting place and for me. Thank you very much. Cardoon was just released today. It is a Colorwork pullover by Isabel Kramer. I can't say enough about her patterns. I've been lucky enough to test knit 3 or 4 of her sweaters. They are so great fitting, no matter, especially, I think for this one I made the 50 or the, I can't remember. Go look on Ravelry. And so I absolutely loved it. I used Hedgehog Tweety this time, and Pandia's Jewels, and it's a DK weight sweater. So it flew off the needles. It was so much fun to do. And Marin got some pretty cute pictures of me, I have to say. My daughter Marin, next year when she goes to school, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because she is my top #1 photographer. Hey, how are you? Greetings from Dublin. The knitting room is on. She just made, it's Carrie, I believe. Carrie just finished Knit a Rainbow. She made that on her holiday. I'm gonna take a little sip. I'm actually drinking coffee because we've had such a rough couple days. I'm needing the boost. Hang on. So the Cardoon sweater. I think I have the picture that I just put. I do. So here's the picture. Come on. Oh, again, you're gonna see the. Well, there it is. It's a great sweater, and I loved the Hedgehog Tweety that I got this time. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's her recycled yarn. So it has all little bits of different colors in it. And this one, it had a lot of like purple tones to it, this batch. So I used the Pandia's Jewels. It was a purple color, and man, sometimes you put some things together and you're just like, I did that. And I did it all from stash. So I was very, very proud of myself. So there's that. So there's the website. There is the test knit that just went out today. And it's a great, great sweater. It has stuff on the sleeves, of course, on the neck, and then on the bottom. And I love the construction. I can't wait to wear it. When we were taking the pictures, I couldn't wait to take it off because I was so hot, but I can't wait to wear it this fall. Also, if you go to my website, it's so fun to say, if you go to knitarainbow.com, you will see at the bottom are the events that I will be at. There is an event coming up September 11th and 12th. That's the New Jersey Sheep and Wool Festival. I just found out that I am going to be able to go. I believe I'm going to be there on Saturday, but stay tuned to my Instagram and I will definitely update you. If any of you people in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area are going to be at the New Jersey Sheep and Wool, I would love to say hello. So let me know. I'm just going to be walking around. The next thing is Knit and Escape. And the reason I'm going to bring that up because I'm finishing up the collaboration that I'm doing with the Knitting Place. So the Knitting Place is one of the vendors for Christy Glass Knits Knit and Escape. And I believe that their vendor time is on Saturday, but when it gets closer, I'll definitely let you know. Also, if you wanted to follow the Knitting Place, you'll be able to see it is a virtual event, and they're going to have some kits and some other designs, but they asked me to collaborate with them, and so I'm finishing up a design for them right now, and I'll show you a little sneak peek. How about that? Okay. I don't want to, I'm almost finished. I was going to be finished and it was going to be all, photographed and everything, but Ida, she hit hard. I'm going to just show you really, really quick because it's just a little teaser for you, but this is a pattern that, because I had to fit it into my schedule, I had done many, many years ago, and I never posted on Ravelry. I think I gave it to a couple knitting shops. In fact, I know I did. And so that they could sell this is how old it was. They could sell the pattern if they could give the pattern if they sold the yarn. So I got to revamp it, rewrite it, reformat it, and do all that fun stuff. So ready? Okay, it's coming up. That's a crappy little thing. Okay, here. Isn't it pretty? It's made out of, and I have it right here, Cocon Blue. It's an Aran weight yarn. You could also use, worsted weight. You could use DK and a mohair held together. So there's lots and lots of options. I know that Dinah and Pam are going to have lots of options for you to see. And I'm going to have, I used 5 balls. And it's going to be, just 2 sizes, like an extra small, and then, the rest of us. So this is the color of the yarn. Isn't it beautiful? And I'm almost finished. So I'm going to have this 5th skein. I'm going to have a chunk left. So I thought to myself, I'm always promoting when you're using indie dye yarns to get that extra skein. And, it's not always budget worthy to do. But I thought, what I'm going to do with this is, because I don't want to send them back, in almost full skein. So what I'm going to do for them is what I do for me, and I'm going to knit a hat. But look what happens when you take, now this is beautiful. You could knit any hat that you want. And if I may suggest one of my hats, this is called the Emily hat. It's named after, there we go. It's named after my niece, Emily, who is an RN, and she works on the cardiac floor. And it reminds me of an EKG. It's a slip stitch pattern. This happens to be my beautiful daughter that I made, Marin. Another pretty thing I put together. But anyway, I'm gonna knit this hat. So we're gonna take this, and I went in my stash this morning, so I'm really excited to show you. Ready? Bam. Isn't that gonna be so fun? So I'm gonna, and I'll stick that in when I send them the pattern, and won't that be so pretty? Hey, look, this color looks really pretty with this color. Ooh, that's a good idea too. But I absolutely love, you know, navy blues and different shades of pink. I just think it's super delicious. All right, finally able to get me live. Hi, Suzanne, it's a pleasure to have you here. So if, you know, I'm going to put all of what I talked about in, of course, the description box. If you could hit the like button and subscribe, that would be so, that would be very special to me. Let's also talk about what I'm wearing today. So today I am wearing, I think it's called Fable. Oh, thanks. I love that hat. That's an Emily hat. And if money is not, you know, if it's not in your budget, I don't know, I think it's $5 or $6. I do have a free pattern that's called the Marin hat, and that's a free pattern available on Ravelry or my website. Oh, thank you, Laura. So I am going to check to see what I'm wearing right now because I don't remember. I think, oh look, and I'm right on Ravelry. How lucky. So I think it's called Fable by Alicia Plummer. It's coming to me. It is. It's called Fable by Alicia Plummer. Here is a photo. Oh, it's 111. Make a wish, everybody. Who do you wish to? I always wish to my mom. Okay, so here it is. Here is my modeled shot of the Fable. I want you to look at how pretty the details, can you see that? The details are on the bottom. I'm going to stand up and show you in real life, but here, isn't it pretty? Okay, so I made this. I thought that this was going to be a quick knit because it doesn't have sleeves. It's, you know, it's my jam. It's a V-neck, and it is raglan, which is one of my favorite things ever. But it took me a while to knit this because there are some amazing, amazing details in the sweater that I absolutely loved knitting. So the size I made was the 48.25. I actually could have gone down another size. And I used Moondrake in Soft Sport in the color Green Finch. And I actually wanted to tell you that the Knitting Place has Moondrake Soft Sport in stock. So if you wanted to call them or go on their website, you can get it. How many did I use? That would be helpful too, right? For the 48.25, I used 3 skeins. And I don't remember if I had a lot left over or not. I'm really sorry. But I'm going to stand up now and show you what I have on. How about my necklace? Isn't it fun? So this was my mom's, and she would get compliments every time she wore it. And I just thought that it looked so beachy and fun. So in the summertime, let me show you. In the summertime, it has all the summer charms on it. And in the winter time, she would take it apart and she would put snowmen and snowflakes and a Christmas tree, and there's like a piece of holly. Holly is my favorite holiday decoration. And so isn't that so cool? Oh, bonjour, Florence. How are you? It's nice to see you. Okay, I'm going to stand up and show you my sweater and stuff. So here it is. It is, it is a great, great sweater, right? So it has a raglan line, really pretty, deep, deep V-neck. Sometimes I wear a shirt underneath it, but I was in my pajamas before I got on here, and I had to like quickly put a little bit of makeup on and put my hair up because it was not looking, you know, it was like all gross. And so I did put these pants on. So I have these cute little, I don't know if you've seen these. They're just little linen pants that I got at the Gap about, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. They are really old and I wear them all the time. But here it is. So I wanted to show you, look at the pretty detail. Oh, I'm glad that this, see how it has this really pretty line here. And then on the bottom, I just showed you all my stomach. So on the bottom is also that really pretty line. This is not my pattern. This is Fable by Alicia Plummer. It's in Moondrake. Soft Sport. It's in sport weight, and it's 5 stitches to the inch, so it goes by pretty quickly, except there are like these details, like you bind off and then you pick up the stitches again, and it's really, really cool. So there's a little detail on the bottom here, which I'm not gonna show you my stomach again. I mean, my stomach hasn't seen the light of day since 1998 when I was pregnant for my son. So here we go. Yay! Isn't it pretty? But I love this, and it looks great with everything, right? So it looks great with jeans. It looks great over, I've worn it over a sleeveless linen dress. I've worn it, I wore it with really, I've worn it with, I laughed like that because Natalie just said I made her day. I have to remember that you guys don't see the comments when I replay it. Although I did find a way that you can see. When you're watching the video, there is a little button on the bottom. Hi Judith, nice to see you too. There's a button there that you can see on the playback, and you can see what people were saying. I just learned that the other day. So I was gonna say slacks, but I didn't, and now I've said it, so I said slacks. So you could wear these with a really nice pair of slacks and heels if you wanted to dress it up. It would look adorable with a jean jacket over it. There's lots of different ways that you can style a sweater that has great lines for you, and that that is, you know, like I call these like a stable, you know, like a wardrobe staple. Not stable, staple. I promise there's no Jameson in this coffee. It's just straight up coffee. Coffee with half and half. That's how I do it. No sugar. Why am I telling you this? It doesn't matter. Anyway. Okay, so I can say slacks. I give your tops slacks swag. That's a good one. It's just a funny word, right? Slacks. Like, you know, there's words that I don't really care to say, like the M word. It's not my favorite. Awesome. We could go get coffee together, just half and half. But if it's cold brew coffee, I like to drink that black. But my kids drink it. I buy it and have it in the house, and my children are older, so they drink the cold brew. Not that you guys care. Let's talk about knitting. I really do. I think I'm done. How much time do we have? Look at that, 25 minutes. So does anybody have any questions? I would love to open it up. There are a little over 30 of you here. So if you had any questions or comments, or I would love to hear from you. I think Friday is a good day to do it, no? And what time did I come on? 11:45? Maybe that's a good time. Knitting and coffee. Oh, my tip of the day. My tip of the day is, which it's kind of in the tip, my whole time through here is to buy that extra skein, right? Buy that extra skein of the yarn that you're getting, and make a hat when you're done. And then even if you don't need a hat or you live in California, I'm sure that you have family that needs a hat, right? So when the holidays come around, or a birthday, or one of your kids is like, I need a birthday gift, then you have something in your reserve. My collaboration pattern with the knitting place, a sweater. Nope, yes, it is a sweater. It's kind of a layering piece. I don't need to answer today, but you live in Texas, so Aran weight is not sweat you can wear. It went away. Could you, I found it. Could you adapt my new one for fingering or sport? So this is what I like to say about everything. You can do whatever you want as long as you get gauge. So my suggestion to you, it's 4 stitches to the inch for this new pattern because it's, it's Aran weight. But I bet you will be able to adapt it. I would probably do sport weight. 2 sports equals an Aran, right? You could hold 2 together. Would that still be, but that would still be too thick. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna knit your piece. I'm being all secret. You're gonna knit your piece in, you're gonna do a little bit of a gauge swatch, and you're going to check and see, because there's cables. You're gonna see if it looks good at the gauge, okay? So you're gonna take your needles and you're gonna use larger needles than called for sport weight. But I will tell you that it absolutely works, because you know who does that all the time, and I'm a tester for her. I've done a lot of tests for her, is Caitlin Hunter. Caitlin Hunter loves to take fingering weight and knit it at 5 stitches to the inch. Fingering weight normally is 6, 7, 8 stitches to the inch, but she loves that open look. But it's not too open that you don't have stitch definition. It's actually, I absolutely love the way that is. So sometimes if I'm short on time, I will knit in DK for her fingering patterns. And it all comes down to gauge. It's the big G, friends. We have to talk about it. Gauge is so important when you're knitting, and it's so important for a couple reasons. The first reason is, why would you spend all that time knitting something and it's not going to fit you, right? Oh, yay, thank you. She's going to knit the hat this week. The Marin hat or the Emily hat? Either one or both, please. I'm just kidding. So you want it to fit you. You've spent the money on yarn or your stash yarn or whatever. You want it to be something to wear, right? Well, and some people spend months making a sweater, and then all of a sudden you put it on and you hate the way it looks. That wouldn't be too fun for me. I wouldn't enjoy that at all. I mean, I happen to be a very selfish knitter, so I knit for myself. So I would want it to work for me. So that's why we look at gauge. And the other thing is, when you're designing a pattern and you make one size, right? There's a formula that you do for all the other sizes. And right now, my patterns have 9 sizes, right? So I have a formula that I follow to tell you how much yarn you need. So you need to, at least I know I'm knitworthy, exactly, Suzanne. So you need to know exactly how much yarn you're going to need for a specific, for a pattern. And instead of having to knit 9 different sizes, then there's a formula that I use to make sure that you have enough yarn. Right, Heather. I mean, I knit for my kids, and crochet. Did you guys know I crochet too? I was looking over patterns because I was adding, uploading them onto my website, knitarainbow.com, and there's a couple crochet patterns that I might revamp them, right? So I might use different yarns. I might, update the pattern a little bit. I think that would be really fun. It's all so exciting. As you all know, I am a glass half full kind of girl. because I've been around a lot of people. You did, Molly? She actually crocheted one of my patterns way back in the day. I wonder which one it was. Was it a free pattern when I was designing for Red Heart or Karen International? Or I'm just curious. Did you like it? Anyway, I forget because I was excited that someone crocheted one of my patterns. I'm a self-care knitter, not a selfish knitter. That, hey, Knitting Posse, thank you. That is a nicer way of saying that I don't want to make it for anything. You loved it. You'll look up the name. Do I check gauge while knitting a sweater? Sometimes my gauge shifts mid-project. That is a great question. So do I check my gauge? No, because I've been knitting for 40 years and I can just kind of tell. But yes, gauge changes. So if you're stressed, your knitting tends to be a little bit tighter. And it can be looser, if you're on vacation or whatever. I don't have to check gauge, but I highly recommend people do it. Oh, let's talk about this. This yarn is superwash. Okay, it's a superwash wool. Great. Here's what I want to tell you. When you block something, especially a sweater that's superwash wool, and you pull it out of the water and you roll it up in a towel and you lay it out, it is going to be gigantic. It's going to be large. And the great thing about that is if you wanted it to be bigger, like a shawl, and you only had one skein, if you wanted it bigger, then you would pin it and it would stay that way. A lot of new knitters I've noticed when you're afraid to block your stuff because it absolutely changes everything, right? So in my opinion, it changes everything for the better. All of your stitches now become like uniform and it looks like, you bought it in a store. Things open up lace opens up that's supposed to open up. Things lay flat that, that were rolling and curling whilst you were knitting. But here's what I want you to know about superwash. If you pin it, it will stay that size. But if you let it be and you kind of go back to it a little bit and kind of like shake it out, it will shrink back down into what your original gauge swatch was. So do not fear. It's happened to me, and it's happened to me recently when I have taken something out of the water and I've laid it out on my blocking board or floor or towel or bed, whatever you guys use. And it was huge, like 6 inches too huge here. And I thought, oh, Kimberly, you've been doing this forever. And then I remembered that it was superwash. So all I did was I let it be, I laid it out, I made sure everything was flat that I wanted to be flat. And then every time I walked by, every couple hours or so, I just kind of gave it a little flip. And wouldn't you know, it went back into where it was supposed to be. So that's why gauge is really important when you're not used to certain yarns, right? So superwash, is gonna get big and it'll get a little bit longer. Silk is gonna get longer. Acrylic is pretty much gonna, what you see is what you get. And then, wool and cotton blends, like see what's gonna happen if you buy a yarn that's a wool and cotton blend. I want to bring it way back to the first question about the new pattern. Are you going to be able to substitute? Yes, you will. And if you can't, if we can't, please send me a private message and I will rewrite it for a smaller size. In fact, I'm starting to think that that's something that I need to do because I have a lot of followers that are in the southern, different climates that want to knit my things and they can't use or they choose not to use the wool or whatever. So that might be something. Thank you for giving me that idea, and I hope that I answered your question. But if it doesn't work, I will rewrite the pattern. It's that easy that I will rewrite the pattern for you to get your gauge, what you love with a yarn that you want. So please send me a message and I will help you that way. You can either send me a message on Instagram, I'm Kimberly McAlinden, or you can send me a message on my new website, knitarainbow.com. I think I missed one more question. I've heard the formula to adapt patterns as different yarn weights. Do you think it's accurate? Oh, Suzanne, there you are. See, don't worry. I will help you out. I've never used it before, so I don't want to comment on it. I don't really know. But if you wanted to send me a message, I can look into it for you and see what, what I think. So it's been 35 minutes. That's it. I'm gonna head to the beach with my boyfriend, aka, oh, are you? My husband is, I call him my boyfriend. Warm climate resident here, yeah. Yeah, we're at the beach and it is a beautiful day. And we need some much needed sitting together and just being instead of sitting together. To do a smaller size, is it possible to change the yarn, DK to fingering? Absolutely, but you need to do a gauge swatch and you need to kind of figure out what your gauge. You know what? Florence, I will do a tutorial on how to do that because that is a big thing. I'm thinking about starting my Patreon again. Not really sure, but that would be something that I would probably do over there. Is teach you how to use different weight yarns for the same pattern. That's it. Okay, yes, I remember, Florence, you are very tiny lady. So and one which store did you say was carrying the yarn? That would be the Knitting Place in Port Washington. Oh, the sidewalk shawl. That's a great shawl. That was a great pattern. Yeah. I actually designed that while I was down here in the summer on the topic of gauge and switching the weight up. Yeah, that would be a really good one, Susie. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you for knitting that. Love the idea of different weights. Yeah, that would be cool. Okay. One last really very quick comment is I wanted to let you all know, thank you for supporting me. I am no longer working at Do You Knit in Westfield, and I want to thank them so much for opening up my eyes and seeing how much I really do love talking to the knitters and crafters and stitchers out there. So you will either see me on my website or on Instagram as just me, or here on the podcast every week. And I want to thank everyone at Do You Knit for all that they've given me for the past 2 years. I just seem to be really busy doing my own thing, and I am enjoying the flexible hours. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, and that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope that you find things that absolutely make you giddy with excitement when you touch them. This thing, I mean, it's just, I love it. I love putting colors and things together. Find something that makes you happy, whether it's walking or talking to a friend or knitting, crocheting, stitching, or horseback riding, or walking in the woods, or making a lovely meal for your family and sitting down and talking together, or watching, binging something on Netflix. Find things that make you happy, because when you're happy, the people around you are happy, and then it's just this beautiful ripple effect that goes throughout the world. I hope that if you're sad and you're lonely and you're having a horrible day, that you find something that brings you joy. And when life is hard and days are gray, knit a rainbow. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.